Hey everybody, my name is Dowden, and in this 2-minute tutorial, I'm going to show you a little trick that you can use to add instant punch to your drums and other sounds by using layering inside of Ableton Live. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So I have this snare sound. It's a really nice, crispy, really sharp sounding clap. It's pretty high quality, but it could be a little bit punchier. Maybe when I'm playing the track, it gets a little bit lost in the mix. So what I could do is just drag and drop another layer that is a bit more punchy onto that sound into a drum rack. So I have this other clap that I've chosen here. That's really punchy, but say I don't like the way that they sound together. So if I play them both at the same time, I think it's a little bit too present. There's a little bit too much going on. It does sound okay for this example, but say I just want the punchiness right away and I only want the punchiness. What I can do is I can open up that clap and I can drag in an EQ. I'm going to drag that right onto this second clap, and I'm going to rename the second clap to punch. Then I'm going to take the sample, take everything out of that sample except the initial transient, so the initial punch that's coming through, and I'm going to fade out, and let's listen how it sounds now. Okay, great. So we just have that really quick initial attack, and I'm going to EQ out all of the high end of this sound. And I'm going to clean up some of the low end as well, because I don't want that low end accumulating too much. Duplicate this. So now I have two EQs taking out that high end. I'm going to grab a compressor and throw it on the end of the rack. Okay, so now I have both these EQs taking out the high end of this second layer, this punch layer, and then I have this high end clap here, and let's listen how they sound together. What you can do next is actually dial in the volume to taste. So if you want it to be a little bit punchy, dial in a little bit of volume, and you can just make your way up and listen how it sounds. So we're going to listen to it without the punch layer and then with the punch layer. So without and with. Okay, but we are layering up, so we're adding a little bit of extra volume. So I'm just going to turn these down, -3 on both, just to give it a little bit more headroom before we're clipping. And then, of course, I want to compress the signal as well. I'm only going to compress maybe 2 or 3 decibels. Just very slight. And there we go. So now we've just added this initial punch to this clap and made it just a little bit harder hitting at the beginning of that transient by layering a second punchy layer. But instead of layering the whole sound, which you still could do, I only wanted to layer and hone in on that punchiness. You can do this with other instruments as well. You can do this with synths. You can do this with bass lines. You can do this with anything that you'd like to layer and add a little bit more of that punch to it. If you liked the video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe.